Among the changes coming in Star Citizen 3.18 are some pretty interesting overhauls to crime and prison. For the unaware, on Hurston's Moon, Aberdeen, you will find Clasher Rehabilitation Facility, the prison of the Stanton system. We've spent quite a bit of time here on the channel, both as prisoners and as infiltrators, breaking in from the outside. And when it was announced that prison sandbox activities were coming, along with a new escape mission, well, we had to head in ourselves to check it out. In the current PTU, some of these features are a little buggy, and the old features have new quirks as well, because some of the bugs prevented missions working over literally a dozen runs. A lot of this video will be an amalgamation of several playthroughs. I have no doubt that the bugs will be worked out by the time this goes live, but I will point out the bugs and problems when I can, and nonetheless, the additions to the prison are pretty cool, if a little less than I was expecting when prison sandbox activities were announced. And when Cyrus and me first arrived here, we were in for a little treat right off the bat, with a fully geared dead body available in the cell block.
Oh shit, don't leave yourself.
Why not?
There's a dude in full gear here.
What kind of gear? Did he choose well? Well, I mean, it's better than nothing, right?
It's over this way.
Ready to take the next step on the road to rehabilitation.
Yep, just keep backing up. Opening the airlock.
Roger.
Outer airlock. Alright, we are out of armistice.
With the body now out of the armistice zone, we could loot it of weapons and items. Any ammo on this person? Yes. Backpack. Ton of ammo. The prison mines had several changes noted that we wanted to go see. Well, I'm going to go take a look down here so we can find. The most obvious of which would be NPC prisoners now making their way around the mines. This raised a lot of questions about what they do down here and how players can interact with them.
Got an NPC prisoner here, looks like. He surrendered.
The fact that Cyrus and I had guns seemed to intimidate the NPC prisoners, and this was a promising start, though it is possible that our gun wielding would prevent us observing the prisoners' natural behaviour in the mines. Killing a prisoner though only gets you in trouble and adds to your sentence, as pretty much you would expect.
He's a hardened criminal. Was a hardened criminal.
Use this extra time to think about what you've done.
So I would ditch the gun to re-enter the armistice zone. Nobody wants to stick out the entire duration of their sentence in Clasher, and there are many ways to shorten your sentence. Though in this new patch, the fastest previous method, venting oxygen machines deep into prison mines, has been nerfed, with a massive reduction in its merit rewards. I think this is a good change, as the oxygen missions were really the only mission that was worth pursuing from a pragmatic standpoint. Prison mining has been made a lot easier, with minables now glowing significantly more under flashlight. I am not sure if this is an intentional change or just a result of the Gen 12 renderer, but it is a great change and makes mining in prison less of a headache. It also seems like the actual mining itself is a bit easier, making it now one of the best legitimate ways to end your sentence early. There is also the new contraband kiosk, and this allows you to sell contraband items to the prison for a merit reward. It is a good idea, but actually coming across contraband in the mine is not very common, and the rewards are not all that great for doing so. Mining is a much more surefire way to get released early as things stand right now. But you know us, we are more interested in escaping, and it just so happens there is a new escape mission, and if completed successfully, your crime stat is cleared immediately. We got the typical maintenance opportunity.
Yeah.
That's it right now. I think we need to go to the black site to get the other one. The mines now have section of tunnel that is not covered by the Comm Array, and when within this part of the tunnel, you will be contacted to receive illicit missions.
Are there black sites down every route, or just the black?
I don't know, that's a good question. I'm not sure, but we do know there's definitely one in Route 1.
Yeah.
Now in our experience, you can receive the missions in other places too from time to time, but I am not sure how intentional that is. On Route 1 of the mine, this black site is at depth 7. It seems that only one instance of the mission will appear at a time, so some waiting should be expected. So I guess now we wait. It's Ruto. The short version of this contract is that an escaping prisoner was stealing data from Clasher for Ruto. I'm accepting this. There we go.
Alright.
The escapee died in the attempt, and we must find their body, recover the data chip, and deliver it to a location outside of the prison. If complete, then my crime stat will be overturned. The first step is getting through the massive ventilation fan next to cell block 1. And for anyone new to escaping from prison, the code to disable the fan can be found by looking through the window of the security post between the mine access and the cell block. I'd be entering the prison escape route not knowing what to expect. I am extremely well acquainted with the escape route, and when in a hurry I can run from the prison to the surface in about 7 minutes. But where would the dead body I needed to reach be located? Something I have noted about the escape route now that PES is coming online, bodies of those that have failed to make it are far more common. And as I progressed, I tried to catch sight of the mission marker at every opportunity, but it was always just out of sight each time. And on reaching the first of the large metal bridge segments, I'd made it to up around the same elevation of the body I was seeking. Just another jump, and it would likely be in view. The body was suspended by a plant root below the bridge section up ahead. The drop beneath it was very high, and worse, beneath that was the death pit in this cavern. To fall would mean at the very least serious injury, and in all likelihood, death. The bridge was the nearest footing to the body. Seemed like a good place to begin investigating. I couldn't reach the body from atop the bridge here. But I spotted an exposed beam I could maybe use to get onto the framework of the bridge below. The space here is too small. I'd need to go prone on this precarious beam. I could see the body, but there was nowhere to go on this beam, and it looked like I'd need to head down the much more narrow struts that made up the rest of the frame, to the beam on the opposite side of the bridge. There would be vertical supports to contend with, and to make everything much harder, this bridge isn't level. It slopes heavily towards the side the body is located on. Slowly I inched ahead, taking very deliberate care to stay on the beam. I still could not reach the body. There was no getting around it. I'd need to attempt to drop onto the plant root itself. The data chip was not immediately visible, so I go for opening up the backpack. But another PTU bug would strike. The backpack would not open, and I could not recover the data chip without accessing the backpack. This run would ultimately be for nothing, but I had figured out a path to reaching the body, and that was a valuable find for now. On my second run at this, I was feeling more confident, and initially maybe too confident. Attempting the delicate move from one beam to another while standing would remind me how easy it would be to slip and fall to my death below. But once again, I had made it to the body beneath the bridge, and this time the backpack would open, revealing 3 data chips. Not knowing what one was for the mission objective, I took all 3. Getting back onto the escape route was relatively easy, and I pushed on towards the surface with a fresh motivation. Before making it outside though, I'd need to navigate my way through the laser mines. I almost forgot to get the code for the ASA, and note here that the near side garage is listed as occupied. It appeared it was a 4-kilometer track to where the data needed to be uploaded. Running this route is very familiar to me, and pretty soon I was at the garage itself. But to my surprise, the garage was empty. This has since been reported as a bug, but at this time it was definitely a dampener on what was shaping up to be a successful run. With only minutes of life support, I'd have no option but to try the other garage at the far side of the other ventilation outlet. This one was listed as empty on the security monitor, and as expected, there was no Ursa here either. At this point, I remembered there was a tiny area of protection from the elements right below the escape vent. Maybe if I could reach it, I'd at least have time to call for help from the org. But another change to the prison in 3.18 is a fix for this anomalous little pocket of environment. A good fix to the prison for sure, but not very helpful in this moment. This was shaping up to be a tough one, but there were more surprises to come. On the next run, I made it back to the metal bridges, but it was only at this point I realised that the marker was much lower in the cave this time around. The body, it turns out, can be in several locations. And this one looked even less accessible. Again, this was hanging right over the death pit. And on another end, the body was much higher up, and for now at least, I couldn't see a good way to reach it. I hadn't figured out the jumps yet, and even on the familiar location under the bridge, failure was still very possible. What would follow would be dozens of trial and error runs, heading to the black site in the mines, getting the mission, entering the escape route, and repeating the make or break moment, looking for the correct jumps. And eventually I found the routes. I just figured out the easy way of getting to that last body. Oh, it's so good, and I recorded it too. Take a look, so the death pit is there, and I'm on this little, like, twig thing. I can now reliably make it through the mission, but the Ursa was still missing most of the time. I'd need supplies, and that meant merits. And the Commissary has new quirks too. At first, I thought the Commissary wasn't working. It is working, it's just got a little bit of a quirk to it. Basically, it works like any other store now. Items that gets put in an inventory, but the default inventory is Clasher, and Clasher doesn't have an inventory, so you've got to make sure you change it to your work pack before you buy anything, otherwise it'll just vanish. I think there are 4 locations the body can end up, and this one to me is the easiest of them. So this time I wouldn't even waste time trying for the Ursa. Instead, I'd begin the 4-kilometer trek to the objective on foot. Oxygen depletes very quickly out here, but oxypens can be used. Temperature though, I just couldn't see a way to combat. Coming over the final ridge, I could finally see that we were heading for a crash site with some functional ships parked around it. And with just seconds to live, I made it to the crash, but I'd have no time to complete the mission. I'd heard a momentary burst of gunfire. There are indeed hostiles at the crash site. So the next run, I'd also be showing Cyrus through the escape route, but this time we'd encounter an unusual kind of resistance. Good, well done. Ooh, there are ships out there. That's a vehicle sound. That's an STV. I think someone might be breaking into the prison, by the way, from above. So we should at least be a little careful because, well, you know, when we're breaking in, we shoot prisoners. This square panel that we see jutting out. Sadly, Cyrus would fall to his death at the very last jumping puzzle. Oh no! How far did he fall? Now, I'm very curious actually at this point, if there is someone coming in. I made it through the mines, but given the sound of vehicles outside, I figured my only chance would be to pray an Ursa was available. And the only Ursa listed occupied this time was in the far side garage on the other vent. Also, we've got to be very careful on these. Make sure that no one is actually coming through them. I don't see anyone out there. Well, fuck it, I'm going for it. If I die, I die.
Attention! One of our guests has evacuated the facility before completing their rehabilitation time.
But as I reach the top of the shaft,
There's an illegal breakout. Freeze! You've
violated the law!
Oh shit, there is someone here. I was heading straight over the edge anyway to reach the other vent, and I seemed to be moving away from the bounty hunter. Got a vehicle right here. There was an empty rock mining vehicle, but it was locked and could not be used. Can I get in now? I don't know. No. I made it to the garage with no sign the bounty hunter was following me. Yeah, there is an airstrike as well. How crazy will it be if I can escape and take down whoever was out there as well? But the Ursa was suffering power problems. Wait, what the hell?
Weapons system power is low.
We've seen this before in our Corsair series, and the bounty hunter was about to catch up.
Weapons system is off. Shields are on.
Freeze, criminal!
I had no weapons and the turret didn't work, but I discovered a long shot option. That's so annoying, like that's... My turret doesn't work. They're coming inside.
Self-destruct.
Oh, self-destruct works. Maybe I can get out. By some stroke of luck, the bounty hunter had clipped himself out of the back of the Ursa as I made my escape. Yeah! He's gone. Oh, I think the rock went out. I'm pretty sure the rock got destroyed. Yeah. Well, maybe. Let's find out. No, the rock's fucked though. No, that dude's dead for sure, but I can maybe grab his gear. 9:54, okay. Now, it is possible, but maybe not from where I'm at though, because I have to go around Clasher. It is possible, technically, to make this run in that time. And I figure, fuck it, at this point, we're going for it, right? I've got to do this without using my flashlight though, because that'll give my position away. Sure enough, more ships would arrive at the prison, possibly more bounty hunters now that I was a fugitive. I think I have a marker on me during this. If someone takes the mission, I think I've got a marker on me. 1,500 meters, I've got 2 minutes 30. What do you think the odds are? Cyrus suggested using a med pen to restore health lost to heat, and it actually did work as a very temporary measure. I could use med pens to extend the time a little. I wonder if I can get into this cutlass actually, because that might, if I can get into the cutlass, that would probably solve a lot of problems. Yeah! The cutlass was unlocked, but time was just not on our side. Oh. So another very close run on foot, but we wanted to see this thing complete and I'd been at it for a few days by this point, so I called on Stick to come and pick me up outside and help me get to the crash site. I do wonder if it's cooler at night. Maybe at night you'd be able to make it further.
It is cooler at night.
Okay, past the mines. The landmines, I mean, or the laser mines. So, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna go out into the atmosphere just yet. I'm gonna wait at the end of the vent.
Gotta say, you're making incredible time on this game. Holy shit!
But I cannot stress. This has been like fucking Groundhog Day, in that I have been running this mission between, you know, doing all of the other stuff that we've needed to do. Just running this mission. I'd begin another run just to shorten the distance Stick had to drive. I'm off to your right, I think. Probably. Looks like.
Speaking of trundling over the hill.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful, air-conditioned interior. Okay. So, be on the lookout for. Here we go.
But I thought the intent was to take the cutlass. But I guess we'll find out.
See this rear part of the wreck? If you go around to the right side, you might be able to get them then. Yeah.
Check fire.
There we go. I'm going to head out there real quick because I can't seem to put these data things in my hand. I'm not sure if that's intended or not. The data chips are tricky to handle. They cannot seem to be placed in consumable slots. There is a card slot on here. If I grab that, picking them up off the floor though does work. Now we're cooking with gas. Here we go. Let's see if we can insert this into the... Okay, inserting. Yeah, okay. I completed the mission. I completed the mission. Instant clear. Instantly cleared. Oh my god. Do you know what this is? It's a goddamn little CubeSat. It's one of those little deployable satellites.
Yep, it's one of the, oh shit, what is it? They have a specific name. I can't remember. Yes, it is. You're free!
So, as promised, upon uploading the data to Ruto, my crime stat was instantly removed. And this meant Stick and I were now free to take one of the cutlass here and return to the nearby Barton Flats aid shelter. The changes to the prison escape are very cool, creating another focal point for player-to-player interactions, and a high-risk, high-reward method of clearing a crime stat. The old escape method is still an option. You can escape without the mission and drive to Barton Flat, which is only 10 kilometers in the same direction as the Cutlass crash. There you can call a small ship like a Pisces or a 100i and make your way to SPK or Grim Hex. I also like the rebalance of the merit rewards to make mining more attractive in comparison to the oxygen missions. I would have liked to have seen more missions in prison itself, and maybe there are, I just haven't found them all yet, but this is still a great start and overall a very cool change to the way things work. As always, I want to thank all of you at home for watching and all of our amazing patrons, without whom none of the videos here on the channel would even be possible. And in this video, I am especially thanking Feed and Stugats204, who both recently became supporters of the channel over on Patreon. Thank you both for choosing to support the channel. Patrons like you make this possible, and I am very grateful for the help. We'll be back with more from Star Citizen 3.18 very soon.